This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. Glad to have you with us. I'm joined today by Pulaski County Circuit Clerk Terri Hollingsworth. She is new to the office because she won this past November. We're old friends. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, Roby,
so
and thank you for letting me be here today.
Yeah. We are going to talk about an initiative that you launched last week. You are basically doing what's called cleaning up the voter rolls here. There's 57,000 notifications that went out to inactive voters in Pulaski County. You're mandated to do this, but give everybody a little background on exactly what's going on here.
Well, the National Voter Registration Act came from in 1993, and so it's a way for us to make sure that we get information from the voters. There's some that have moved to other counties, some that have moved, across the county, and then there are some that we haven't heard from since 2012, meaning they hadn't voted in an election since 2012, and that's about 4,000 of those folks. And so we want them to reply to the card to say, yes, we still want to be on the voter rolls, and then we'll make sure that they stay on.
Just out of curiosity, why does somebody have to respond to that? What if you just want to be a very non-routine voter? What if you just get inspired to vote when you want to? Why do you have to continue to re-up your registration?
That's a good question, Roby. Well, they have to stay up to date so that we know which precinct for them to be in. That's mainly the information. We don't want to know how they voted. We just want to make sure that they can vote and that they are, allowed to vote. Because, you never know what happens within life in terms of the last time they voted to this time.
Sure. Yeah. So tell me, what kind of inquiries will you get from people when you're doing this? Will there be people that will be afraid that this is a scam? Will they be afraid that they're being dropped? Will they be afraid that, will they just ignore it altogether?
Well, I hope that they don't ignore it, because this is not junk mail, so we just want them to respond to it. Again, only 4,000 of the voters or the cards that we sent out are actually folks who haven't voted since 2012. The others have just simply moved either out of state, maybe to another county, again, maybe even across the county. So we're just trying to update our information. We simply want updated information from our voters.
What's the time frame for all of this? Is this, is there like a particular time that there's just a cutoff date? Is it when registration officially ends, which will be a long ways from now, or what's the, kind of how does that work?
So that works. The National Voter Registration Act gives us a deadline until September to do this, but we always take the information. They can always call our office at 340-8333, and we can make sure that their information is updated.
Tell me what else you've been doing since you've been in office. You kind of came into this with big eyes there, so and a big agenda as well.
Well, I tell you, I've put staff in place. I've had some folks on in terms of my team. I've been looking at the office and assessing each department, and certainly even looking at our IT department. So just a lot of learning these past 3 or 4 months.
There's nothing wrong with learning.
There's nothing wrong with learning. I have 95 employees, so I've even had to learn, of course, almost everybody's name.
Sure,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, they don't let you in there early, even though even when the election is in there, there's that transition time. Let's talk about a couple of voter issues that are out there in the national dialogue right now.
Sure.
We have seen some presidential candidates talk about allowing convicted felons to have their voting rights restored. Debate on should they be able to vote while they're in prison, after they get out, after they finish their parole or whatever. What's your takeaway on that? Because that is something that you campaigned on.
That is something that I campaigned on. I'm certainly interested in making sure that voting is accessible to everybody. Since I've been on board, we've had at least 2 events where I've sent staff to different community fairs where they've helped people with expungements and making sure that they get their voter rights back. And so they have to have been finished with all their paperwork in terms of their sentencing and parole and that kind of thing, and then we can pull up their records for them, the expungement records or that form, and then they can begin to vote.
And another issue that we have seen too, I think this is in Florida, if I recall correctly, there was a debriefing with some Florida elected officials talking about the fact that the Russians hacked, actually, the voter system in Florida. They didn't say anything more specific than that. I know that you're not you don't oversee the actual operations of the election, but you are heavily involved in the election process. Could that happen here in Arkansas?
No, that can't happen here in Arkansas because our machines are not connected to the internet. So think of it as an electronic pencil. And so that pencil gathers all the information, and then we put all the pencils in one particular, I guess, box, so to speak, and then it totals up all the votes. So it's not connected to the internet.
All right. Well, let's hope that there's not even a hint of that happening. She is Terri Hollingsworth. She is the Pulaski County Circuit Clerk. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Roby.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you
Good luck
as
in
well.
this initiative.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.